Do an intro.
It's kata time.
Oh yeah. Hello and welcome. Another new year, and I managed to get another season ready to go for Bringing the Thunder. And we're starting off this first episode real fun with some more analytics, I believe, right?
Yes, indeed.
So
indeed.
I'm joined today with a guest. You might have seen him in previous sessions, but for the people who are not aware, who are you and what we do here at Skyline?
My name is Tove de Pre, and as Jan mentioned, I work in the analytics team. So that's everything related to like big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence.
Always really fun, very intelligent stuff that we're seeing here. I'm always very enthusiastic. So, what are we having a look at today?
Well, I want to show you a problem that I had the other day.
Okay.
And we're going to try to solve it.
Oh,
Right? So maybe first, if the people want to follow along at home, there is a package on the catalog. So if you go to catalog.dataminer.services and then search for proactive gap detection tutorial and hit deploy, then you can follow along at home.
okay. So that's a prerequisite.
Yes.
Can you do it on any setup? Is there a minimum?
So there, to have everything, you will need a dataminer version of 10.5.1. So that's, I think, the latest one that is released.
Right.
The basics are also on all of older versions, but there will be some configurations that you can't do yet.
Okay. But yeah, if you spin up a DOS,
If you spin up a DAS, it will work.
as a service, spin up a data miner, and you're good to go as well.
Then you're good to go.
Cool. All right. So what is the problem?
So-
what, I was gonna say, what can I help you with? But you're gonna help yourself with the problem.
We'll see.
So we have extra viewers, I think. They're just cleaning the windows behind us. Have to be the, they were supposed to do that 5 minutes before the. No, that's fine. It's okay.
All right. So let's go here to this view, the content management servers.
Yes.
So what I show here, well, I have a website that I'm hosting, and there are 3 servers that are hosting the website. And to make everything run smoothly, they all have a cache.
Okay.
And here, what I show on this graph is the evolution of the cache size over time.
All right. So I see that's some percent base. So it's
Yes.
total disk size or something.
Yeah, it's the
cache.
cache size that is configured, and if it hits 100%, it won't grow further.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. So we have 3. So we have the blue one, that's the first server. Mm-hmm. You see that one is going up and going down a bit.
Yeah.
It goes up quite high, but then it goes down again. So that's not a problem. That's fine.
Okay.
The purple one, that's also fine. It's at a
Pretty
low
stable
level.
at a low
very
level.
stable.
Yeah.
The green one, normally it's also stable,
Okay.
but a few days ago,
Something
something went wrong. It started to go up.
Yeah.
And it reached 100%, and that caused some problems because the website went a bit slower.
Okay.
So what we actually want to do is we would have liked Dataminer to tell us that this green was being weird.
Yeah, that it was in an inconsistent behavior.
Yes. So ideally it would have warned us before it actually hit 100%, so that we had some time to fix it.
Yes.
And then we could fix it without the users of the website actually noticing anything.
Yeah.
Right. Do you have any suggestions of how I could do that? You also know data miners. So.
I also know data miner. There's a lot of things I know, but a little bit of that, the data miner. I would say we can probably put an alarm template on there and make sure that we use something like a relative alarm or something to check what's the normal behavior, what's normal, and if it goes up or
Could
down.
work. Yeah, that could work.
So, but I'm an old school guy.
You're an old school guy.
I'm an old school guy who's old school tooling, but you're
Yes.
gonna give me some.
I'm going to give you something else without any configuration.
Okay.
So we don't configure anything. So first let me go here to this tab here, before failure. That's the same data, but just a few hours back before the green one actually reached 100%.
Yes. Okay.
Right, so let's load. So you see the blue one is going up, but we know from the previous it will stabilize and then go down again.
Yeah.
The green one, it will go up.
Yeah, it keeps going.
It will keep going up. Now, on this graph, you don't actually really see the difference, right?
No, it.
You
With just
miss a
graph,
bit of-
you have no idea if
you miss a bit of
split it or
contact.
not. So yeah.
But what you can see here on the right-hand side is these dashed lines.
Yeah.
So they are a prediction that Dataminer makes of your parameters
Yeah.
based on the historical behavior of the parameter.
Okay. So it predicts the trend
Yes.
in the future based on previous data.
And Dataminer can make the difference between the two, right? It's the blue one, it will stabilize and will go back down again, as we see it actually did later. The green one, it will keep rising. And very soon, it will hit 100% here.
Yeah.
That's also indicated here. There is this triangle.
That says it's going to reach the
The
maximum.
the maximum value of its range, right? So percentage goes from 0 to 100.
Yes.
Above 100, it can't go.
Well, it should.
It shouldn't. So that's indicated here. And that is actually what we want to be notified about. That this green one will reach that maximum value.
Okay.
Now, of course, you're not looking at your trend graphs all day, probably.
Well, no.
Yeah. So you can also find this back in the alarm console. And to find this back, you can here go to this light bulb. You might remember that from previous sessions.
Yes. That's an important one.
Yeah, that's an important one. It's blue, so it means it has something to say to us. So
Okay.
let's click it. And it says here, one alarm is predicted in the near future.
Okay.
If we click it, a new tab will open. And here you can see the notification about this green
Cache
line.
utilization.
Yes, the cache utilization on the second server.
Okay.
It has a predicted maximum value of 100%.
Yeah.
So if we look at this, we will be notified that something will go wrong with the blue, with the green line.
Okay.
So this is actually what we want. So the solution is just look at this tab, right?
Well, I'm gonna guess you wanna set that up so it always does.
I will do some more things. For this, I consider this solved. But I have some other examples where it's sometimes a bit more complicated and they will have to do some configuration to get it all right.
And is there a way to I want to see all predicted alarms in the system? Or?
They are all in this tab.
This is the tab.
This is the tab with all these
okay.
predicted
So
alarms.
not because okay. I thought because you opened it through the light bulb and you were looking at this page that it only gave you that.
No,
Or this page.
No,
but it's pretty much all the predicted alarms.
Yes, all the predicted alarms on your system.
That suddenly makes it more clear and
Yes,
more
yes.
useful.
So this is created by a feature that we call proactive cap detection.
Okay.
So what it
Fancy
does,
name.
it's a fancy name. We like fancy names.
Yes. Proactive cap detection.
But it does describe what it does. So what this feature does is in the background, it will go over all your parameters. It will make a prediction. And when certain thresholds are reached, in this case, it's the maximum value of the range. It can also be the lower value of the range. And there are some other thresholds that it takes into account. If a parameter will cross one of these thresholds or hit one of these thresholds,
It will make a predicted alarm.
it will make this predicted alarm.
Okay, cool.
Technically speaking, this is not really an alarm. It's what we call a suggestion event. So you won't find it in the active alarms tab. Only in this predicted alarms tab. And also there is a tab that is called suggestion event. So if you make a new tab, then under here, show current, you can find suggestion events.
And that's that concept, the predicted alarms.
That's the predicted alarms and also some other suggestions. So we also have seen anomalies in a previous session. They are also in here.
Now you say they're not actual alarms, the predicted alarms, but are you able to use them in any correlation rules or something? Are you aware of that?
Yes, you can use them in
To
correlation.
send like an SMS or an email or
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do. The only thing is it doesn't have like a severity.
Yeah.
Technically it's severity information.
Yeah.
But that's a technical thing.
Yes.
It can't get anything else.
But you
and
are
we
able
also don't see them in the active alarms.
No,
That's-
but
that's-
you are able to capture them and then automate some behavior on it.
that
If
you
there
can
is going to be, if the proactive cap analysis, sorry, I forgot. Detection, almost. Proactive cap detection detects a suggested max of 100% on, for example, disk usage, and also a common one, I guess.
Yes, indeed.
Then you could actually have an email sent or a text message. Okay, cool. That's really awesome.
Indeed. And I'm foreshadowing a bit. You can also configure it that it do become real alarms.
Okay.
But we will see that a bit later.
Okay, sure.
So first, let me go to another example, this SFP monitor. So SFP, that stands for small form factor pluggable. It's like a device that is involved in network connections and it's used to connect the fiber optic cable to a network switch. Or like in between the fiber optic cable and the network switch.
Yeah.
So we are in the context of cables. So there is a signal going to that cable.
Yeah.
And that signal that has a certain power.
Yes.
And that is what we're simulating here.
Yeah.
This optical RX power.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is actually a use case that came from the field. So this is realistic data.
Not real data, but realistic
It's
data.
realistic data.
Yes.
It's well, the data used to be real at some point,
Okay.
and then we extracted it and put
So
it in,
that's the power. Yeah. I was
that's
gonna
the
ask-
power.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm putting clicking here month to date so that we have some context. So what you see here, it's first quite stable and
Then-
relatively high level, like -5, -6,
Yeah.
and then it dropped,
Yes.
and then it started to degrade over time.
Yes.
And this can lead to a problem because the power, maybe there's something wrong with the cable or something. I don't know exactly what went wrong here, but the power that the SFP receives gets lower and lower, and if it's
Until
too low, yeah,
nothing happens.
then it doesn't work.
But there's no cap on it.
There's no cap on it. That's the point.
That's probably
That's the
clue
point.
here. Okay.
So indeed, proactive cap detection doesn't detect this out of the box because this is in dBm.
Yeah.
dBm that can go down to -infinity in principle.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have a cap to warn you about.
Okay.
But what we can do is we can create an alarm template
Okay.
and put a critical threshold. And then there is a cap. And
Right.
proactive
If
cap.
you have an alarm template and
Yes.
you've set up like, what is it there? -9 is maybe a critical or something, then
Yes, I'm going to set it even a bit lower.
okay.
Even a bit lower. So what I will do, I will create here protocols and templates, assign alarm template, and then, let me try that again. Protocols and templates, assign alarm template, and then new alarm template. Well, I misclicked again.
I mean, there's a mouse here.
Yeah. I'll use the mouse. That will be better.
You put a mouse to avoid this.
I know. All right, new alarm template. That's what I wanted.
Perfect.
We will give it a name.
Mm-hmm.
We will give it a name. RX monitoring. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to monitor this parameter, and as I said, I will put a critical load threshold, and I'm going to put it even lower than it is now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it at -10.
Okay, yeah, because I saw the graph went to -9 about. So, okay.
more or less. Yeah. So, okay, let me.
So then, okay,
here?
I think because now it's not at the threshold, so the actual alarm hasn't happened.
Yes, indeed. The actual alarm hasn't happened, but proactive cap detection will notice that it is going towards that threshold,
Yes.
and it will make a suggestion event for it.
Okay.
Now, at this point, it isn't there. That's because we will have to wait a little bit,
Okay.
because it will have to redo its prediction, and then it will notice, oh, now there is a cap.
Okay, but there's no additional configuration.
There's no additional configuration, and I'm going to do a trick to speed things up.
Okay, a quick trick.
So I'm going to do here, generate extra data.
Okay.
What this does is it pushes a few extra data points to this parameter,
That's gonna trigger a refresh.
and then it's
or
going to trigger a refresh.
a nice quick
So yeah,
trick.
this will also just work if you just wait a little bit.
Yeah, if you have
But-
some polling in there or anything inputting new data.
Putting new data. But yeah, that would be a bit boring, so we were not going to do that, right?
I mean, I can always fill the time. I'm perfectly fine and talking.
I'm sure you can. All right. So here now we have a new event here on this FP monitor.
Yes.
Notice this one is also there. This is an anomaly.
I don't know, but
This
yes,
level
the
decreased.
level.
I already talked about anomaly in previous
the anomaly
session.
detections.
Yes, it's
Part of
when
the
that
and-
thing jumped down, if you remember.
Yeah, and on the trend graph, there's actually a little bar there that
Yes,
shows. I
indeed,
remember.
indeed,
Yes.
yeah. But now we're interested in this one.
Yeah.
Predicted critical low. So that's indeed it predicting that it will cross this critical low threshold in the near future.
Yeah. It even gives you like a little window there. I see.
Yes. Like the 11th of January until the 15th of January.
Somewhere in there, it's
Somewhere in there it's going to happen.
all right.
And okay. That's what I wanted to say
Yeah.
about this. All right.
Yeah, pretty good. So not only if it's with a range 0 to 100, but also if you define the
Yes.
range pretty much by saying this is going to be a critical alert.
Yes.
And does it work if you like, say, a minor, a warning, a critical, a major?
So by default, it's only the critical ones.
Only criticals.
But
All right.
there is a setting. I can show you.
Okay.
It's here in the system center. Then if that loads.
I asked something. He's going off track.
I'm going off track.
It's usually when things go wrong and then...
Or it's in system settings and then analytics config. And there should be some configuration loading. Yes.
There we go.
There we go. And then it's proactive gap detection.
And there you can do a bit of configuration.
Name alarm severity. And here you can set like minor, and then it will do minor, major, and critical.
Okay. Yeah. So it's the minimum. Yeah.
And you can also configure it in the alarm template specifically for a specific parameter, because this is system wide. But if you just want one parameter where you want
You
to
can do that as well.
yeah, you can do that as well.
Cool. Well thought out. Yeah.
We hope so. We hope so. What I wanted to say still is, what is now the big advantage of doing it this way? Like you suggested, put a critical low threshold on -9. Then we also have an alarm, right?
Yeah.
What is the advantage of doing it this way is that you can put your alarm thresholds lower, and that way avoid false positive alarms.
Okay.
But you still get an early warning when a parameter is trending towards that threshold.
Okay.
So it's a way of still getting notified, but avoiding false positives.
Yeah.
Now, I already said that before. This is a suggestion event,
Yes.
not a real alarm,
Okay.
but you can make it into a
Yeah,
real
you
alarm.
mentioned.
I mentioned that. And that's actually very easy. If you go here on the right-hand side, there's these two buttons, this thumbs up and thumbs down button.
All right.
You might also remember that from a previous session.
I think I do. The thumbs up and the thumbs down is where you as a user give feedback to say, I agree, this is indeed a correct alarm or suggestion or not correct. And then based on that feedback, it will either not show those alarms or it will keep showing them, something like that.
Indeed. You give feedback to data miner.
Yes.
Data miner learns from that and will
yes.
try to improve the suggestions that it gives to you.
Indeed.
So I will here press the thumbs up because I like this one.
Okay.
And I will press again. Yes, it's
Give
there.
it a
It's there.
moment.
It's there. Now there's a light bulb that appeared here,
Right.
right?
Light bulbs, always important.
Always important. So what this light bulb does is it gives some suggestions for actions that you might want to take next related to the feedback that you've given.
Yeah.
So here it proposes to improve your alarm template.
Okay.
If I click it, a pop-up will open with some settings. And now if I scroll down, you here get the change that it wants to make. You can see that because there is this little
Icon there, button there, yeah.
Yeah.
So it says it wants to create an alarm if the prediction goes towards a certain threshold.
Yes. So the important word here is alarm. Here it's just a suggestion event. And now we are going to make an alarm out of it.
Okay.
And here you can also configure which thresholds you want to use. So currently it's the critical low threshold. And there is no other threshold in the alarm template, so I can't select anything else.
Yeah.
But if there would be thresholds, and you could select like the minor, major, warning, whatever. And then you can also say what the severity of the alarm that will be triggered should be.
All right, yeah. And then once it's an actual alarm, you get access to things like out-of-the-box service, Visio, views, dashboards.
all kinds of things.
More things that are specifically built on top of the alarming.
Yes.
Not so much the suggested.
They're like, because technically they're very similar, the suggestion events and the alarms. We're kind of using the same pipeline. There are many things that you can do with suggestion events that are possible with alarms.
Okay.
So maybe for these kind of things, if you really configure it, it doesn't matter that much whether it's an alarm or suggestion event.
Okay.
But it's more like if you want to visualize it in Cube in the active alarms tab, and you only want to look at the active alarms.
Yeah.
And you don't
To avoid having to toggle between different views or settings.
Things like that.
Yeah.
For these kind of things, it's very useful.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I'm going to change the severity because it's not yet critical. So I'm going to say it's only major. Right?
Okay.
That's just a personal choice. I can choose whatever. Okay, I press update alarm template. And then we give it a moment.
It immediately
and it disappears here from this suggestion event.
Yes,
Because it's not a suggestion event
It's an
anymore.
actual
It's
alarm.
an actual alarm, and it's shown in the active alarms tab.
That's clever. Very good. Nice.
Now, in this predicted alarms tab, it shows both the suggestion events for the predicted alarms and the actual.
Okay, that one shows both. So you still kind of know where it came from.
Yes, indeed. All right. There is another way to access this configuration for proactive alarming. So now I did it through these feedback buttons.
Yeah.
But you can also go directly to the alarm template.
And in there you...
Yeah. So I go right-click protocols and templates, and then view alarm template.
Yeah.
And also there, then it's all the way on the right-hand side, there is this column analytics.
Where you've...
And there is a button, and then
where you've put your window with all the settings and
indeed,
configuration
indeed.
to do it. Augmented operations alarms.
Yes.
Amazing naming it.
Yeah, we call all these features augmented operations features.
Yes.
And it's a lot of settings about those. So that's
Makes
fine.
sense.
And now I can also show if you fill in like another threshold here, like a major low.
Then that won't show up as an option. Maybe.
Yeah, it will show up as an option. So yeah, I can select also create alarms for major low.
Cool.
All right.
Perfect.
That's
amazing. That's it. That's an amazing tutorial. Once again, very fancy, very fun. A lot of useful things, I think.
I hope so.
Yeah. Is there, what point should we say to the viewers who are following along that they can take a screenshot to send it in?
I would say just take a screenshot of this pop-up.
Oh, the pop-up, yeah.
With the settings.
Sure, with the augmented settings.
Either when you opened it through the feedback buttons or through the
light
alarm
bulb
template,
or the alarm template.
you can choose.
Great.
And,
Okay, well, you can choose. So yeah, send in that screenshot through the usual channels and we'll get you your amazing DevOps points. Very important because it's a new year, so you need to earn a lot of them again. So definitely go for that.
Still a few things to say.
He has a few things to say. I was doing an outro, man. Yeah. We're not doing an outro yet.
If you
Let's go.
docs.dataminer.services,
Yes.
there is a tutorial accompanying this video.
Right. A documented part. Yeah.
Yes, and there is another exercise that you can also do, and that way you can also earn DevOps
Even
points.
more DevOps points. I'm glad you interrupted me.
It's here. It's under analytics, data miner analytics tutorials, and then staying ahead of issues with proactive gap detection.
Okay. So is it the same? No, it's an additional...
It's an additional exercise. So
Cool.
it's applying the things that you've learned today, but in like yet another context.
Perfect. Wait, repetition makes perfect.
That's
So,
indeed true.
and in this case, will earn you even more DevOps points. So
Yes.
good thing you interrupted.
And then I
got
also
more.
watch some other katas, and sometimes your guests ask you to like summarize the key takeaways from the session.
Oh no. Yes.
So what are the key takeaways, Jan?
Well, next time we'll no. Key takeaways. Well, as usual, the light bulb.
The light
Continues to be very important. We've also seen that if you have a parameter that has a fixed range, like a percentage, 0 to 100, then the proactive gap detection will just kind of work out of the box.
Yes.
You just need to open the suggested alarms tab,
predicted alarms.
the predicted alarms tab.
But yeah, it's also there are two tabs: the predicted alarms and suggestion events.
I was confusing.
Yeah,
both.
you were putting them together, but that's fine. That's
But
fine.
I'm almost there. And then if there is no range, you can simply use the alarms that you've set up with the thresholds there and then say, if it's going to reach that level,
Yes.
I want you to also give me that as a proactive, as a suggestion, or you can turn it
So
into
by
really low.
default, it's the critical thresholds that are used for suggestions,
but you can configure
but
it.
you can configure it
Okay.
for other.
How was that? All right.
It's okay.
It's okay.
You passed. You passed.
Okay, I get a 6.
I can't be too strict because I might want to come back, right?
You can never come back now. No. Anything else? Or
No, that was it. That was it.
Perfect.
That was it.
Okay, well, to continue my outro then, you can get all the DevOps points by sending in the screenshot or performing that additional exercise. Other than that, I would say if you are watching from YouTube, don't forget like, subscribe, ring that little bell so you're always notified whenever we make a new one of these. If you have any suggestions for topics or interests, don't forget you can always send those to thunder@skyline.be. We'll catch those and we'll have a look at what we can do and which experts we can find to talk about those topics. Other than that, I wish you a very nice 2025, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.
Goodbye.